Hello, friends. If you are flying in 2026, or if you have a trip coming up this summer, there are new rules, new protections, and new tools at U.S. airports that most seniors either do not know about or are getting wrong at the checkpoint right now. Some of these changes will cost you money if you miss them. Others are federal rights the airlines are never going to volunteer, because telling you about them costs the airline money. And several of them come with exact words you can say at the counter, at the checkpoint, and at the gate that will change what happens next. Today, I am going through all of it. 7 things every senior needs to know before they fly in 2026. What changed, what you are entitled to, and exactly what to say to get the treatment the law says you deserve. The last one could save you 60 to 90 minutes at customs on your next international trip, and it is completely free. Rule number 1. Southwest Airlines no longer has open seating, and if you need a specific seat for a medical reason, you are entitled to it at no extra charge. For 52 years, Southwest operated on an open seating model. You checked in, received a boarding group letter and number, and chose whatever seat was still available. That system ended permanently on January 27, 2026. Southwest now uses assigned seating, just like every other major airline. For most travelers, this is simply a procedural change. For seniors, there are 2 specific things to understand. First, if you purchase the cheapest fare on Southwest, called the basic fare, the airline will assign your seat for you at check-in. You do not choose it, and that seat is likely to be a middle seat in the back of the plane. If you need an aisle seat, a seat near the front, or extra leg room for any physical reason, the basic fare will not reliably give you that. Second, and this is the part Southwest is not advertising if you need a specific seat for a medical or disability reason. You are entitled to it at no extra charge under the Air Carrier Access Act. This is federal law. It applies to every airline in the United States. A knee replacement, a hip issue, a bladder condition requiring frequent restroom access, a circulatory condition that requires the ability to stand and move. Any documented mobility need. These are not preferences. They are medical accommodations under federal law. Here is exactly what to do. After you book your ticket, call Southwest's Accessibility Desk. The number is on their website under the Customer Service section. Tell them, I have a medical condition that requires an aisle seat near the front of the aircraft. I am requesting a medical accommodation under the Air Carrier Access Act. They are required to block that seat for you, at no upgrade cost. Do not pay extra for a seat you are legally entitled to receive for free. Airlines are counting on you not knowing this. Rule number 2. If you are 75 years of age or older, you do not have to remove your shoes at the TSA security checkpoint. This rule has been in place for years. Most people over 75 still do not know about it. The TSA has a specific protocol that exempts passengers 75 and older from the shoe removal requirement. You can also keep your light jacket on. You still go through the standard screening process, the body scanner, or metal detector. You simply do not remove your shoes. Here is the practical problem. TSA agents are managing fast-moving lines with dozens of people. An agent will frequently call out to the entire line, shoes off, laptops out, without looking at who specifically is standing there. The noise and pace of the checkpoint creates social pressure to comply with whatever everyone else is doing. Do not let that pressure override your rights. When you approach the conveyor belt, make eye contact with the nearest TSA officer and say clearly, I am over 75. I am keeping my shoes on. You are not asking for permission. You are not requesting special treatment. You are stating a fact based on the TSA's own published rules. The officer will direct you through accordingly. If you use a cane or walker, it will go through the X-ray belt. You can request a chair to sit in while your mobility aid is screened. Simply say, I need a chair while my cane goes through. They will provide one. And if you set off the metal detector due to a hip replacement, knee replacement, or pacemaker, you have the right to request that the additional screening be done while seated. Say, I have a medical implant and I cannot stand with my arms raised. I need to be screened while seated. They will bring a chair. This is standard procedure and you do not need to justify it beyond that statement. Rule number 3. A family member, friend, or caregiver who is not flying can accompany you through security all the way to the gate completely free. This is called the Non-Passenger Escort Pass, sometimes called a Gate Pass. It is available at all major U.S. airports and issued directly by the airline. It costs nothing, and it is one of the most useful and least known tools available to senior travelers. Here is how to get it. After you book your ticket, call the airline's main customer service line. Tell them, I am an elderly traveler, and I would like to arrange a gate pass for a companion to assist me to the gate. They will note it on your reservation. On the day of travel, you and your companion go to the airline's check-in counter together, not the kiosk, the counter. Your companion presents a government-issued photo, IDAREALID, compliant driver's license or passport. The agent prints them a temporary pass that functions like a boarding pass through the TSA security checkpoint. Your companion then escorts you through security, helps with bags and trays at the checkpoint, walks with you to the gate, waits with you, and can speak to gate agents on your behalf if there is a delay, a gate change, or a boarding complication. 3 things to know. First, arrive earlier than usual. The ID check and pass printing at the counter takes extra time. Plan for at least 30 additional minutes beyond your normal airport arrival time. If you arrive too close to boarding, agents may not have time to issue it. Second, the companion pass is one-time use for that specific flight. Third, some airports are busier than others. Smaller regional airports are generally quicker with this process. This service exists because of the Air Carrier Access Act, the same federal law that covers your seating accommodation. Airlines do not advertise it. Call and ask for it by name. Gate pass or non-passenger escort pass. Rule number 4. If you travel with medications or medical supplies, the TSA's 3.4-ounce liquid limit does not apply to you, and most seniors are either throwing away medication at the checkpoint or paying for smaller travel sizes they do not need. Here is the rule. Medically necessary liquids are completely exempt from the standard 3.4-ounce limit. This includes insulin, liquid prescription medications, nutritional drinks like Ensure or Glucerna, saline solution, eye drops, liquid vitamins and supplements, and ice packs used to keep medications cold. You can bring a full-size bottle. There is no maximum volume limit for medically necessary liquids. The critical step is declaring them correctly at the checkpoint. Here is exactly what to do. Before you reach the conveyor belt, remove all your medical liquids from your bag and place them in a clear bag. Any clear bag. It does not have to be a quart-size bag. Set it apart from your other belongings. When you place it on the belt, make eye contact with the TSA officer and say clearly, "These are medically necessary liquids. I am declaring them." The word declaring is important. It activates the specific exemption protocol in the TSA's own procedures. Without that word, a standard agent may simply apply the default liquid rule to your items. The officer will run your medical liquids through a separate scanner and may wave a testing strip over any open bottles. This is standard verification. They are confirming safety, not questioning your medication. Do not be alarmed by it. One specific and important note about insulin ice packs. If you use ice packs to keep insulin cold, they must be frozen completely solid when you present them at the checkpoint. If they are partially melted, slushy, or soft, TSA can classify them as liquids and apply the 3.4-ounce rule, which means confiscation. Freeze them rock solid the night before you travel. Pack them at the last moment. This is not a recommendation. At a busy checkpoint, a partially melted ice pack will be taken. Rule number 5. If you need wheelchair assistance at the airport from the curb to the gate to connecting flight, or gate to baggage claim, this service is free and airlines are required to provide it. But you have to request it correctly and in advance. Here is what most seniors get wrong. They arrive at the airport and ask for a wheelchair at the check-in desk. That works sometimes. But at busy airports during peak travel times, wheelchair attendants are limited. If you have not requested assistance in advance, you may wait significantly longer, sometimes long enough, to affect your connection or boarding time. Here is the right way to do it. When you book your ticket online or by phone, use the Special Assistance or Accessibility Request section and specifically select Wheelchair Assistance. Every major airline has this option. Confirm it again when you call to arrange your gate pass. On the day of travel, when you arrive at the curb or check-in area, tell the first airline employee you see, "I have a wheelchair assistance request on my reservation." They will call the attendant immediately rather than putting you in a general queue. Your rights under the Air Carrier Access Act are specific here. The airline must provide assistance from the curb to the gate, from the gate to the aircraft door, from the aircraft door to your connecting gate if you have a connection, and from your arriving gate back to the curb or ground transportation on the other end. This covers the full journey through the airport, not just the security checkpoint. If you are told there are no wheelchairs available or that there will be a lengthy wait that will affect your boarding, ask for the gate agent's name and tell them, "I need this documented. If I miss my boarding due to lack of accommodation, I will be filing a complaint with the DOT." The Department of Transportation takes Air Carrier Access Act complaints seriously. Airlines know this. The words DOT complaint move things faster at the gate than anything else you can say. Rule number 6. As of 2024, expanded federal rules now require airlines to provide automatic refunds, not vouchers, not travel credits, actual money back in specific situations. And most seniors are still accepting vouchers they never use when they were entitled to cash. Here is what the rule covers. If your flight is canceled for any reason, weather, mechanical, staffing, you are entitled to a full cash refund to your original payment method, not a voucher, not a future travel credit. Cash. The airline is required to process this automatically without you having to request it. If your domestic flight is significantly delayed, defined as 3 hours or more, you are also entitled to a full refund if you choose not to travel. You are not required to accept a rebooking. You can decline the new flight and request your money back on the spot. If your international flight is delayed 6 hours or more, the same right applies. This is a 2024 rule change that airlines are still not proactively explaining to passengers at the gate. Instead, they offer vouchers because vouchers often go unused, which means the airline keeps the money. Here is exactly what to say at the gate or counter when your flight is canceled or significantly delayed. I am requesting a full cash refund to my original payment method under the DOT automatic refund rule. I do not accept vouchers or travel credits. If the agent tells you they cannot process a refund at the airport, ask for the customer service number and file the request within 24 hours. Document the delay time. Take a photo of the departure board. The refund is your legal right. The airline has 7 business days to process it for credit card payments. One more thing about delays specifically. If you are stranded overnight due to a cancellation or extended delay caused by something within the airline's control mechanical issue, crew scheduling. Staffing many major airlines now have policies requiring them to provide hotel accommodation and meal vouchers. Delta, United, American, and Alaska have all made formal commitments on this. Ask for it directly. The phrase is, "This delay is within the airline's control. What accommodation are you providing?" Rule number 7. If you travel internationally and come back to the United States through customs, the 60 to 90-minute line, hundreds of people, the fluorescent hall there is a free tool from the U.S. government that lets you bypass that line in under 10 minutes, and almost no one over 60 is using it. It is called Mobile Passport Control. It is an official app built and operated by U.S. Customs and Border Protection, not a third-party app, not something you pay for. Free, official, government-issued. Here's exactly how it works. Download the Mobile Passport Control app before you leave for your trip. Set up your profile by scanning your passport with your phone camera. That is all the setup required. You do not need a background check. You do not need an interview. You do not need approval. Anyone with a U.S. passport or a green card can use it. When your international flight lands and your plane is taxiing to the gate, you open the app. Answer the standard customs declaration questions, the same ones you would answer on the paper form, and submit. The app generates a QR code on your screen. At the customs hall, instead of joining the main passenger line, you look for the Mobile Passport Control lane. At every major U.S. international airport, JFK, LAX, Miami, Atlanta, Chicago O'Hare, Dallas, Houston, Seattle, this lane exists and is almost always empty or has only a few people in it. You show the CBP officer your QR code and your passport. You are done. People regularly walk past an 80-minute line and are through customs in under 10 minutes using this app. For any senior with mobility concerns, standing in a 90-minute customs line is not just inconvenient, it is physically difficult. This eliminates it. This is not the same as global entry. Global entry costs $100, requires a formal application, an in-person interview, and a background check that can take 3 to 6 months to process. Mobile Passport Control is free, instant to set up, and available to every U.S. passport holder right now. If you are flying internationally this year, even once, download it before you leave. Here is the thing I want you to understand about everything I just covered. Airlines know these rules. They have legal teams whose entire job is to understand every consumer protection that applies to their business. They are not unaware of the Air Carrier Access Act, the DOT refund rule, or the TSA medical liquid exemption. They simply do not volunteer the information, because every medical accommodation they provide costs them a seat upgrade. Every cash refund they process instead of issuing a voucher costs them money they would have kept. Every senior who knows to say, "I am declaring these as medically necessary liquids," is a senior who does not buy a travel-size version of their medication at the airport pharmacy. The information asymmetry is the business model. Share this with someone who is flying this summer. One conversation, that is all it takes. Here is the full summary with the exact words to use. Rule 1. Southwest now has assigned seating. If you need a specific seat for a medical reason, call the accessibility desk after booking and say, "I am requesting a medical accommodation under the Air Carrier Access Act." You are entitled to that seat at no extra charge. Rule 2. If you are 75 or older, say to the TSA officer, "I am over 75. I am keeping my shoes on." If you have a medical implant and need additional screening while seated, say, "I have a medical implant. I need to be screened while seated. Both are your rights under published TSA rules. Rule 3. The gate pass. Call the airline after booking and say, I would like to arrange a non-passenger escort pass for a companion. On travel day, go to the counter with your companion. They show ID. The pass is printed, free, all the way to the gate. Rule 4. Medical liquids. Separate them into any clear bag. At the belt say, these are medically necessary liquids. I am declaring them. Freeze ice packs completely solid. Full-size bottles are allowed. Rule 5. Wheelchair assistance. Request it at booking in the special assistance section. On travel day, tell the first airline employee, I have a wheelchair assistance request on my reservation. If accommodation is denied or delayed in a way that affects your boarding, say, I will be filing a complaint with the DOT. That phrase works. Rule 6. Refunds. If your flight is canceled or delayed 3 or more hours domestically, say, I am requesting a full cash refund to my original payment method under the DOT automatic refund rule. I do not accept vouchers. If stranded overnight by a controllable delay, say, this delay is within the airline's control. What accommodation are you providing? Rule 7. Mobile passport control. Download it before you leave. Set up your profile with your passport. When your international flight lands, open the app, answer the declaration questions, and get your QR code. Find the mobile passport control lane. Walk past the main line in under 10 minutes. Free. Official. Works every time. Airlines profit when you do not know your rights. You now know them. Subscribe. Share this with someone who is flying this year, and I will see you in the next one.